Hi everyone. So I'm going to wait for a few people to pop on, and I don't know if you guys, are seeing this. Hi Al. So it's a bit of an interesting. Okay, so what I said before with my previous one, I said model one, lesson one in my previous one, but I should really be saying module one pre-training, lesson one, or something pre-training, which I will rename that because I want the first lesson to be about retraining your brain and resetting all of that stuff. So I'm going to wait for a few people to pop on. Thanks, Al. I'm going to start. All right. The very first thing in business, if you don't believe that you can do something, you're not going to be able to do it. Every big entrepreneur out there talk about mindset. They talk about having the belief that something is possible. When I started my OFA challenge, and you will know this soon, you're going to learn this very, like when you start your challenge on the 17th of June. The very first week, one of the very first lessons from this OFA challenge is the same thing, is that you get taught about belief and failure and, all of the bad things and how to basically reset that. So I have put my first lesson together, and I must admit, guys, every other training that I've done, and I've done quite a few page trainings, every praying I'm so praying. Every single paid training that I've had a lesson of mindset and positive thinking in there. Because if you don't have your mindset in the right place, nothing is achievable. It is what it is. So I want to help you guys, hopefully, with this to reset your thinking. Okay, I want to help you to rewire your brain. So I'm hoping I can achieve this. If not, and you feel like after this lesson you're still 100% sure how to get there, let me know. I'm going to definitely help you guys to get there. Now, a little bit of a backstory on me, just a tiny little one. So I have always I was not the popular kid in school. Okay. I was the shy, awkward kid in school. I was the kid that everybody teased. I was the kid that, people would say, like, oh, you touched her, don't touch her. Like you get in the cartoons. I was that kid. And it wasn't like I was horrible, ugly, and fat and all of that stuff. I was just completely awkward. But growing up like that, and also the other thing is my dad did, we moved around a lot work wise. My dad, construction contract work, so we moved around a lot. So I was in 7 primary schools, guys. That's a lot of primary schools. And I had to make friends every time that I started a new school. High school was different. I was in one high school and that was okay, but it kind of gave me that knock in life to become confident in making friends and believing that you can do something, because you just fit into a school. Was there for about a year and a half, and then I had to move to another school, and then I was there for a little bit, and then I had to move to another school. So it was really hard, growing up as a kid, to make friends and stick with friends that and I can say that I started my life a bit, I would say almost rough, where it wasn't that easy for me to make friends and stuff. But I mean, obviously I turned out okay, because I have set up my mindset to not think like that, because, and I must admit, as a teenager, when I started high school, I made a bunch of good friends in my first week or 2 weeks or first month of high school, and I kept those friends mostly without my high school journey. And still friends with a lot of those, kids today, but kids, young adults, then my age, families, and all of those things. But my point is that, as a teen growing up, I kind of had that knock in life with, that negative belief that it's hard to make friends. I don't know how I'm going to do this. What if people think bad of me? And I went through my primary school like that, and I was sucked in making friends. I never approached people or kids. They approached me to play with me. And I'm saying playing with, in primary school, you play, well, I don't know what kids these days do, but we played marbles and, we did like all kinds of sports and breaks and things like that. And I was the awkward kid that I felt nobody's going to pick me. And that is where my rewiring went wrong, because I always thought negative about myself. And those negative thoughts never left me when I was in high school. And then I've learned while I was probably, when I finished high school and I studied nursing, believe it or not, felt miserable. That's a story for another day. I've not failed in my classes, but I just realized it wasn't for me. But this is the other side, like, and then I started realizing that I can rewire my brain to think differently. And I started to do positive thoughts, and I started to really understand how you can change your mind to think differently about yourself, about your body, about your, people in your life. And so how I'm going to explain this to you guys is, you've got autopilot. Everybody knows, you would sit in traffic and go like, oh, I'm on autopilot, because you can actually drive in traffic and your brain can be on autopilot, or you just know how to go and make yourself a cup of coffee, or, autopilot is just something that you do without even having to think about it. And it's normally that autopilot mode that is your negative thoughts. It is the thoughts that pops into your head that go like, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I don't have friends, people don't love me, blah, blah, blah. It's all these negative things. I can do this. I started my business, but I'm worried it's going to fail. And that's your first thing is your negative thoughts from your autopilot mind. And then you've got your direct mode. Okay, so you've got your autopilot and you've got direct. So your direct mode is the one that you have to think. You have to think about what you're going to do. So I'm thinking that I'm actually going to now deliberately go and I'm going to pull this highlighter thing off. Silly example, but it's things that you're going to think. So you have to think of today I'm going to go to, I don't know, the beach. It's not like a thing that I do every day, so I have to put a little bit more thought into it. Or today I'm going to do this go live or this training. This is things that's not just a normal autopilot thing. So it's things that you have to deliberately go and do. And the whole thing about negative thoughts is that you need to rewire your brain to not think in autopilot mode, but to think in direct mode. And direct mode is obviously, where you have to teach yourself to be positive. And then that has to become your autopilot mode, where you just have to think like, oh, look at me. I'm looking fabulous today, instead of going, I don't know if this is not a good day for me type thing. So this is the whole idea of the two modes in your brain. So basically, is you have to make the changes. You have to decide that today I'm going to make the change. It's a choice. So I've spoken probably a couple of months ago, I've spoken about the 3 C's in life, which is the choices, the chances, and the changes that you make in your life. And this is the thing, guys, you have to make that choice to change. And you have to actively practice that every single day. Because if you're not going to practice it, it's not going to help. It's just not going to change things for you. So it is natural to think normal. It's natural and normal to think negative and bad thoughts about yourself. It's not a thing that is just, it's kind of the way that a lot of people, you get bullied in school, or it's things that just happens in life. And it's, it's kind of I can say the natural progression of people is to think negative things. And it's okay, to think that to start off with, but it can't control your life. And you need to think of you need to change the way that you think about stuff. So what I want to say to you guys, so basically the default mode, we do need that. Okay, we do need the default mode. But unfortunately, like I said, default mode is like a negative thinking mode. And we need to rewire that so your default mode is not your negative thinking mode. Okay, so the important thing to realize is that, okay, so here's an example. I write with my right hand. Okay, this is the way I write. I write with my right hand. And now I have to train my brain to write with my left hand. Okay, it's not going to be easy. It's not easy to go from right to left. So how do you do that? By practicing every single day. Every single day, you have to take the pen in your left hand and you have to write and write and write and write and write. Okay. It takes 21 days for you to form a habit. That's the one part. Okay. So how the brain works is you can, and it's not physically, your brain doesn't physically grow bigger. And I did a go live on this a wee while ago as well. But you can develop the part of your brain, to become like the bigger part of, the positive thinking and so on. So that's basically when you form a habit. It takes 21 days. So you can train your right hand or your left hand to write. You can train it. And the same works with your brain. You can teach your default setting to become the positive thinking, but it takes time. It's not going to just happen. It's a process, and a process takes time to develop, and it's a skill that you have to learn and master. Okay. So, like I said, autopilot is grateful, but it's not great when it's negative things. So that's why we need to teach our autopilot to think positive thoughts. Now, how do you do that, guys? So I want you to, guys, okay, yes, Al, I think you're the only person live on this training at the moment. I know people are watching it afterwards, and they do let me know. I want you to take a piece of paper and write down the one thing that makes you feel like you cannot succeed. Write it down. Write that one negative thought down, or if you have two or three, take that thing, write it down. Thanks, Al. Yes, I know I've got a hacker shirt on. Take that thought and write it down on a piece of paper. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a minute or two to write that down on a piece of paper. So write down your thoughts, your negative thoughts, and then, okay, let me know when it's done. I want to see I don't want to know what it is. You don't need to tell me. It's for your eyes only. Just write down your thing that you feel is, making you, what's holding you back, that fear. So once you have done that, take that little piece of paper and, do a, let me do this. Take it like this. Okay. Do that with it. Okay. Now eat it. You're not going to eat that, are you? You're not going to eat a piece of paper. So why on earth do you want to put that negative garbage in your mind? Why do you want to put that negative garbage in your mind? You don't need to. This is the beautiful thing about your brain. You can train your brain so you don't put that negative garbage in your mind, because you're not going to physically eat it. I mean, paper is disgusting. No one's to physically go and eat paper. There's no taste. It's just nasty. It's probably going to hurt your stomach. But this is the thing. Why do you want to put that negative garbage in your mind? And this is why I started lesson 1 with this, guys, because if you're going to be negative about your business, you're going to be negative about life, you're going to think, and it's not necessarily negative. You might just have like a chip on your shoulder to think that I cannot achieve something. I cannot do something. What are you going to do about to change it? That is the key. And that is what this lesson is about. So what I want you to do is I want you to also ask yourself 3 questions. That thing that you wrote down, what has that done in your past to make your life have a good outcome? Write that down. Think now, in the moment, that thing that you wrote down, how is that helping you in the moment to change your life in a positive way? And then think of it this way. How is that thing that you have written down, or those 2 things or 3 things, how is that going to change your life in future to think positive, or, to do positive things in your life and to have a great outcome? It's probably going to do jack for you. It's not going to do anything great in your life. So you need to think of the positive stuff. So now this is the thing that I want you guys to, this is your exercise for the week. If you don't already have this, if you have this, that is absolutely fabulous. But I need you guys to start a vision board. A vision board. I don't have my vision board with me. I would have showed you guys my vision board. But I want you guys to start a vision board. Take pictures of things that you want. Take pictures of things that you, and I mean, it can be anything. It can be pictures of a vacation, things that you physically want. It could be seeing a family member that, a photo of a family member that you haven't seen actually maybe in a few months. It can be business goals. It can be money. It can be anything that you want, guys. Write it down, or, print it out, or do whatever you want. Put it on a vision board. This is something that you need to look at every single day. You need to become the master of visualization. You need to become the master of, imagining things. Have you guys read The Secret? It will be great to know if you guys have. No, Al, I'm not going to eat the paper because the paper is gross. But have you guys read The Secret? The Secret is, I mean, it's a popular book. I don't actually know of anybody that has not read The Secret or listened to The Secret. But if you have not, I mean, it's not like I have completely, I'm surrounding myself with people that know The Secret. So, but if you're going to be in a bubble that people don't know about these things, you're probably not going to know about it. So The Secret is, do yourself a favor and go check it out on YouTube. There's a free book there, or an audio book or a little video on it. I mean, you can probably download the book for free or buy the book, whatever. But there's a free, I think it's an hour and a half thing on YouTube on The Secret. And it's really just that power of visualization. That's what it's all about. And even if you read it 3 months ago, 6 months ago, just go watch the videos. Go to YouTube and go search The Secret. It will come up. It's one of the very first things that comes up. And go and get the secrets behind visualizing everything. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but what I can tell you guys is that if you visualize something every single day and you believe that you can do that every single day, it's going to happen. It's going to manifest into that. It's going to happen for you. So I need you to stop thinking negative thoughts. Stop thinking that I can't do this. I'm going to fail at this. I don't want to start my online business because I'm not exactly sure if it's going to work. My family and my life is telling me that it's not going to work. My partner is doubting everything that I'm doing because they don't believe in my vision, or because what I found is, guys, that the people the closest to you is the people that actually disappoint you the most, because they actually think that you can't do it, and it's because of their own fears of failure that they're putting that across to you. So thank you, Al. So this is the thing, guys. So visualize your life. Visualize your thoughts, your processes, well, I won't say processes, but the things that you want to achieve, your goals. Visualize all of those things. And then the other thing that I want to just add to that as well is that every time that you think a negative thought in your mind, like say, for example, I'm standing in front of the mirror and I'm thinking today, yeah, I'm fat. Don't immediately when you think that, think differently. It's like, yeah, well, maybe I'm a little bit overweight, but you know what? It's okay, because today I'm going to run on the treadmill for an hour, so I'm going to work it off, or something like that. If you think that somebody is not loving you, and you think to yourself, oh, I'm worried that people don't like me, I'm doing these live trainings and I'm thinking that people are not going to like the sessions, or they're not going to like me, which, by the way, I don't really care if you guys like it or not, because I know that I'm adding value. I do hope that you like my sessions. I really do, because I know I'm adding the value to you guys. But it's, I'm using this as an example. So if it's that fear, instead of thinking, well, if you don't like me as a person, or you don't love me, then you're obviously not the right person in my life, and I need to start surrounding myself with people that do love and care for me. And this is the way that you need to think about things, guys. If you're going to start thinking negative thoughts all the time about yourself, or you're already doing that negative thoughts, your life is going to suck forever. It's just never going to change. It's never going to get better. It's just going to be horrible. So rewire your brain. Again, write down the one thing or two things or three things. Maybe you've got 10 things. Write them down. Think of how those things in the past has helped you, how it's helping you currently, and how it's helping you in the future. And probably the answer is going to be zero. Like, it has zero helped you at all. And then I want you to think of how you can change your mindset to think of it. So if you think like, I am scared to start my online business because I'm worried that I'm not going to make money. Instead, put a picture on your vision board of a vacation that you want to do, and start asking yourself rich people question. How am I going to make it possible for me to go on that vacation? So instead of saying that I'm going to fail, or I'm worried I'm going to fail, ask yourself, well, let me see how I'm going to achieve this goal of going on that vacation, and then start working towards that. So guys, that is the go live on this lesson, module 1, lesson 1, and it is reset and rewire your brain. So I hope you guys find value out of this. I really believe that you are your own. You are the person. Let me just rephrase it in my own head. You are the one person that is responsible for your own journey in life. No one else is. You are the one person that is responsible for the thoughts and the feelings that you have every day. If you, like, for example, in an abusive relationship or in a negative space and all of those things, raise your standards to be around different people. Yes, it's not easy. I understand that. I actually have been in situations like that. But you know what? You can get yourself out of there. It's just rewiring your mind and rewiring the way that you think about things. If you struggle with this at all, guys, please reach out to me. I know I can add value to you on this. I have been there. I'm talking out of experience. It's not a thing that just happens like that overnight. It's a process. It's a process that helps you to think differently about things. And like I said, reach out to me. I know I can add value to you with helping you to reset your mind. And you know what, if you already have a positive mindset, freaking fabulous. I am so grateful that you are, because then you know how good it is to be in that positive space. Alice asking, visualize always every day. Yes, every day. Every single day is when you visualize. Every single day. Meditation. That is a great way to like visualize things. I used to be one of those people that thought to myself, how can somebody just sit and do nothing for 10 minutes? Because I'm one of those people, I just go, 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 go. I don't stop. And that forces me to take a step back and say, you know what? I am going to visualize how I'm going to get to this vacation, or I'm going to visualize I'm going to get to this. But this is the thing. So visualize yourself, you know, in the good spaces that you want to be. Visualize yourself skinny, or visualize yourself on a vacation, or visualize yourself with, I don't know, a new house, or whatever you want, you know. So yes, visualization out every single day. Okay, even if it's for 1 minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes. But in meditation mode, that's also a fantastic way to do it, because you clear your mind completely, you have that calm and peace, and then you just, you know, your mind is so much more open for things. Guys, I love you guys lots, and thank you for listening to this, and thank you for being part of Online Wizards. I really, really super appreciate that. And I know that you guys will catch the replay, and please hashtag replay, and please let me know if you found value out of this. I would really appreciate it. This video will be on YouTube, so please subscribe to my channel. There will be more valuable things coming up. So guys, love you guys a lot, and I will definitely, the next lesson will be also next week, Wednesday, my time Wednesday, everybody probably on Tuesday. The times is in the group here, and I will then teach you guys the next step in the process of, you know, starting your own business, or, you know, achieving your goals and dreams. I'm not going to go into the details, but I will give you guys, you know, a few days of heads up on what exactly I'm going to cover. So guys, have a great time, and thank you so much for listening. And I hope that, like I said, I hope that you find value out of this. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.